Hi, this is Yardane Frankel.
And I'm Alex Margolin, sitting in for Pesach Benson.
We're with Honest Reporting, and this is our podcast where we discuss media coverage of Israel.
Today we're going to look at 60 Minutes.
Right, the other night 60 Minutes did an investigative piece where they went to Silwan, the city of David, Ir David, to look at both Israeli and Palestinian claims to this area and what's going on there. Let's see, was she being fair to both sides?
Jerusalem is one of the holiest cities on earth for Jews, for Muslims, and for Christians. It's also one of the most difficult issues at the negotiating table as Palestinians and Israelis struggle to continue the peace talks. The challenge is how to divide the city between the two sides.
Okay, wait a second.
All right.
This is, according to Leslie Stahl, in introducing this piece, the whole challenge is how to divide Jerusalem.
She makes it sound like that's already been decided by both sides, and it's a question of how to do it. Where do you draw the lines?
Yeah, it has not been agreed upon. Once again, the Palestinian position is let's divide the city. The Palestinians want the areas that were under the Jordanian army control from 48 to 67, which includes the Old City, the Western Wall, and Ir David, Silwan, which is the area that's the subject of this piece here.
Right. So, as far as I understand the government's position, it's not necessarily agreed to this
Not at all
question.
agreed to.
And
the government has said United Jerusalem.
So therefore, to start off the report by saying that's the real issue, that's already showing a bit of a direction.
So this structure was here when Abraham was here.
That's right. He saw it with his own eyes.
He saw this.
He saw this.
That's a bit of a stretch. Archaeologists tell us that no one has found any evidence that Abraham was ever here.
Very interesting. So
Okay.
There's no evidence that Abraham was ever in the city of David. So who made this claim? It brings some kind of doubt onto the claims that they're making of Jewish heritage.
This is the first example of her dismissing an Israeli claim to the area. But there's more.
One thing is glaringly missing here at the city of David. There's actually no evidence of David, right?
There's no doubt that this is the city of David from the Bible. There's no doubt that the Bible took place here. Proof of David himself, until we find the actual name, we can't say.
Okay, here's the second example. The first, Abraham wasn't here. Now David wasn't here, and I have to say, has he said there, this was Jerusalem 3,000 years ago. King David is a historical figure. This was the city of David. For her to say, but where's the proof? Where's his name?
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. Who else is asked to furnish this kind of proof?
Do we go to Mecca and see if Muhammad was here, is written on a mosque? Do we go to Bethlehem and see if there's a signpost that says Jesus' name? No.
Again, it's a consistent theme that runs through the segment, that what is there isn't really important. It's kind of ignored. What has been found never gets mentioned.
Okay, but it'll be interesting when we get to the Palestinian claim. So let's go to the next one.
Another problem is an inconvenient truth that biblical Jerusalem is not located in the western half of the city. It's right under the densely populated Arab neighborhood of Silwan. And according to the Clinton parameters, Silwan should be part of a Palestinian state.
Remember the images we had for the Israelis who visit the site? Israelis who visit the site, they're soldiers, they're in uniforms. Palestinians, they're kids holding doves.
It can't be much clearer than that. You walk through Silwan, you're always finding these kids with doves. Nothing a little bit like set up for a camera there.
But the other thing she said there, it's an inconvenient truth that this site happens to be in East Jerusalem. Well, why is it inconvenient?
Yeah, so
the
chose the Jews to
Jordanian
the
army
west.
conquered the area in 1948. Don't say that they're making it sound like Jews only started moving in 67. The Jordanian army occupied 1948, and I'll tell you, it's no different than the old city of Jerusalem and the Western Wall. According to the Palestinians, there is no Jewish connection to these areas. Arafat himself told President Clinton there never was a Jewish temple in Jerusalem. Never at all. Clinton was shocked by this, but that is what the Palestinians believe. That is what they teach their children.
Organizations that move Jewish settlers into Arab areas have infiltrated Silwan. Under heavy security, a group of settlers live in this 7-story building.
Okay. Organizations that move Jewish settlers into Silwan have infiltrated.
Right.
Think of the language.
They're infiltrating. They're going someplace they don't belong.
They move them. What are they doing? They purchase, not steal, they purchase Arab homes, and they help Jews who want to move to this area. It's not.
This
Why
is
is it an infiltration?
This is one of the more controversial aspects of negotiations as they're being conducted right now.
So let's see if she uses the same skepticism when the Palestinian makes claims.
Palestinian Jawad Siam was born in this very, very special place and says he can trace his roots here back 930 years. He's pessimistic about the Palestinians ever having their own state.
It's not possible to do it. Today the settler groups are much stronger than before. The settler groups in Jerusalem, they are controlling.
He's angry that Elad bought his grandmother's house and moved a number of Jewish families in. So he's become an activist leader in Silwan, where there have been a string of escalating confrontations.
You will be rubbish of the history. There is no proof that King David was here. You want to take our land.
First of all,
So much.
he's able to say, well, look, his family's lived here for 930 years. There's no. Why doesn't Leslie Stahl say there's no evidence that his family was here 930 years ago? What he says is simply accepted. The second thing is he's mad that his grandmother sold her house.
Yeah, and this is some kind of provocation to him that he becomes an activist in protest. Somebody sold a house. Somebody bought a house. These are all legal transactions.
Finally, the piece that is most disturbing to me is this whole protest thing where he's yelling, King David never lived here. He's not an archaeologist. Where is his credibility from? I don't mind if Leslie Stahl is going to ask really tough questions and have skepticism about what the representative of Elad says or what any of the Israelis say. I don't have a problem with that. But when she does not use the same journalistic tools when she's interviewing a Palestinian, that's bias.
Let's see if
That's
it
just
continues.
not right.
Let's see if it keeps going.
Clashes are daily inside Silwan between the villagers and settlers and the gun guards for the security there.
The government pays for the gun guards?
It's tax money. I pay it.
She is now drawing him out into saying something even more negative about Israel than he had in mind to start. And she's
using his language. He says gun guard.
Gun guard, not security guards who are protecting the Jews who live there from terrorists, and there are attacks, there are riots all the time. But suddenly these people are these ominous gun guards. And she's taken his language, she's taken his position. So let me ask you, are we being overly critical here? Are we seeing something that's not here? Why don't you write in a comment on YouTube below? Let us know what you think. Are we out of line, or have we picked up on something here that this piece by Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes really has an anti-Israel bias? You tell us what you think, and we'll talk to you next time. So for Honest Reporting, this is Yardine Frankel.
And this is Alex Margolin.
And we'll see you later.